we began with a new series that will last for a year because it covers the Parashat Shavua. We're not going to go through the entire Parasha, but we'll cover the main lessons that are brought out in every Parasha. Parashat Mishpatim, this week's Parasha, is a very significant Parasha. That is where we begin to see the many mitzvot that we are commanded to keep, especially mitzvot ben adam lechavero, those commandments that apply between man and his fellow Jew. There are 53 mitzvot in this week's Parasha. 24 aseh, 24 positive commandments, and 29 lo ta'aseh, negative, do not do. And we don't have the time to cover each one, but as you will see, these mitzvot in this week's Parasha have many things in common. In the very beginning of the Parasha, the Torah says, Ve'ele Mishpatim. Ve'ele, there is a vav there. That means it's a continuation from somewhere. It's a continuation from the Aseret HaDibrot. The 10 commandments were given in Sinai. Therefore, you should know that the following commandments that you're about to hear, that you're about to learn, are also from Sinai. Don't assume that just what you heard in Sinai, what you heard from Hashem directly, what you saw in the Aseret HaDibrot and 10 commandments, only that is from Sinai. All the commandments, the entire Torah, is the word of Hashem. In other words, Moshe is the one that wrote it down, but as it was dictated to him by Hashem. Everything was given to us from Sinai. However, you will notice that there are some differences in the semantics between the word chok, mishpat, edut, ot, and mitzvah. You will find these words somewhat interchangeable in the Torah. They're all similar. They're all from Hashem. But each one has a slightly different meaning. So I just want to give you a brief explanation of each one. Whenever you see the word chok, even though it's referring to a mitzvah from Hashem, it's referring to a decree. That's the literal translation of the word. And what is a decree? A decree is what a king decrees without explaining himself, and sometimes it doesn't even make too much sense to us. It may not be logical, but we accept it. It's a chok. So when you see the word chokim, it's usually associated with mitzvot that are very difficult for the human mind to comprehend. Nevertheless, it's a decree from Hashem and we follow it. Mishpatim, as the name of this week's parasha is, usually involve mitzvot ben adam lechavero. Mishpatim are rules, laws and rules. Like every country, every nation has certain rules, certain laws. So does Am Yisrael. And they usually involve the laws that we need to abide between one and his neighbor, one and his friend, and the like. These are all Mishpatim. You will find the word edut, and in Tehillim also you will find the word edvotecha, edotecha. That has to do with the root of the word ed. Ed meaning testimony. And there are certain mitzvot in the Torah that when we fulfill them, like Shabbat and the holidays, the Hagim, we're giving testimony to something that happened in the past. So not only are we fulfilling a mitzvah, a commandment from Hashem, we're actually saying something very powerful. When one wears a kippah, when he covers his head, he's making a very powerful statement. That he believes in Hashem, that there is a higher authority over his head. The head being the highest part of the body, where the brain is the most important part of the body. We cover that out of respect to a higher authority which we revere. Thank you. That's the whole idea of the kisudosh, of the covering of the head. Same thing with the Shabbat and the holidays. Whoever therefore does not keep Shabbat, even though he gives charity and does all the other mitzvot, is basically denying the existence of Hashem, denying that Hashem created the world, Halila. Shabbat is therefore edut. It's a very important testimony. Then we have ot. Ot is a sign. Shatem le'ot al yadecha. The tefillin is a sign. There are certain mitzvot that are considered signs. Sign is similar to testimony. It shows something. It reminds us of something. It's indicative of something. Then you have the simple word, the common word called mitzvah, which literally means commandment. Even though mitzvah applies to all of them, mitzvah in the Torah usually applies to mitzvot ben adam lamakom. Mitzvot between us and the Almighty. If I put on tefillin, it doesn't affect my neighbor. It's a mitzvah ben adam lamakom, between us and Hashem. So there's different types of mitzvot. What they all have in common is we all receive them from Sinai, from the same source. But many of you perhaps have asked once upon a time, well, you're curious, why didn't Hashem reveal the ta'ameh mitzvot? What's the reason behind every mitzvah? And I've spoken about it when we did a series called the 70 Most Difficult Questions in Judaism, where I chose difficult questions. This was one. Why doesn't the Torah reveal to us the reason behind everything? After all, wouldn't it help if we understood something before we did it? And as you will see, the answer is no. It doesn't make a difference if you understand it or not. And sometimes it's better not to know the reason, not to have an explanation. But here I put together a list of several ideas or several explanations of why Hashem did not reveal the mitzvot to us. Number one, first of all, the fulfillment of the mitzvot does not require an understanding. One has nothing to do with the other. Hashem expects it of us. It's for our benefit. He doesn't need it. And therefore, you don't have to understand it. After all, don't you drive a car without understanding fully the mechanics of the car? You know that this is beneficial. This will get you to work. This will take you where you want it to take you. Do you have to understand how it works? You get on a plane. You have to figure out what's going on? No. We do many things without fully understanding what we're doing, because we know this is good for us. Right? So the same idea with the mitzvot. We were convinced that this is for our good, for our benefit. We know where it comes from. Then why do you have to understand what it's for? It's not important, therefore, to know. It should not be a condition for fulfillment of the mitzvot. And that is why, in this week's parasha, you find the famous words, the famous phrase, Na'aseh v'nishma. Am Yisrael says something incredible. They said, we will do, and then we will listen. Well, it should be the other way around. We will listen, and then we will do. Why does it say Na'aseh first? Many explanations are given. But let me ask you something. If you love someone, aren't you willing to do almost anything for them? For her, for him? As we say in Arabic, ala ani wala rasi. Just whatever you want. I'll do it for you. No questions asked. You're willing to do it readily. That is the idea behind the words Na'aseh v'nishma. Yes, we're so excited, we're so convinced, we have no doubt, we're willing to do it. Nishma, later on tell us more about it. But we're willing to jump into it right away. Na'aseh v'nishma also means that not only are we committing ourselves to doing it now, but we will also commit future generations. We will teach it to our children. And eventually the future generations, they will have to listen too. They will have to follow it too. That is another idea behind the words Na'aseh v'nishma. Some say Na'aseh is referring to the mitzvot Aseh, Nishma to the mitzvot Lo Ta'aseh. Regardless, the fact that we said Na'aseh first shows a tremendous amount of love for Hashem. No questions asked. Another reason why the mitzvot are not explained to us is because there are many mitzvot that the human mind cannot fully comprehend, like the Chokim. Even if they were to be written down, we wouldn't be able to figure it out. Hara Aduma, the red heifer. It's a chok. Sha'atnez, the mixing of wool and linen. And even, believe it or not, even the halachot and the mitzvot concerning kashrut, the dietary laws, what we may not eat, even though we may think it has to do with health reasons, it has nothing to do with health reasons. Even though, maybe, possibly, some of those animals are not healthy. But that's not the reason. If that would be the only reason, the Torah would say, be careful, don't put this into your system. You're going to kill yourself. But we know that that's not completely accurate, because there are many goyim that eat everything in the world, anything that crawls. Just ask any Chinese. And right now, especially with that flu, that bird flu, what are they? Avian flu. In Cambodia, they're eating rats right now because they're afraid of the birds. They're afraid of the chicken. So anyway, and they're healthy. It has nothing to do, or at least that's not the main reason. So there are many mitzvot that are chokim, that are difficult for us to comprehend. Hashem therefore does not put it down in writing. Number 3, another explanation of why Hashem does not tell us the reason. If Hashem were to tell us this is the reason, there might be some smart aleck who might say, well, this doesn't apply to me. To me, it won't happen. We have an individual in the Tanakh who was the smartest man, who knew everything. And he said the same thing. Yeah, this doesn't apply to me. And he fell into that trap, taking too many wives, especially from the Gentiles. So therefore the Torah says, no reason, no explanation given, so one should not come and say, this does not apply to me. Another simple idea behind the mitzvot not having their explanation given in Torah is that Hashem wants us to do the mitzvah l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. That is why He does not even reveal to us the reward, how much we will receive as a result of doing the mitzvah. Do it l'shem shamayim. One who does not do it l'shem shamayim, it could happen that eventually some guy might tell him, listen, we're in the 20th century, this does not apply. Maybe once upon a time this was accurate, this was true, it was relevant. Today it's not so relevant. But if we do it l'shem shamayim because Hashem wants us to do it, we ask no questions, we don't need explanation, we know that it applies at all times, because we do it for the sake of heaven. We know that this is important at all times. There are also many reasons for every mitzvah. So that's another explanation of why the Torah does not write down the reason, because it's not just one. It could be more than one of why something is forbidden, or why we should do a particular maaseh, a particular deed. There could be many reasons why something is important. Another idea is that the Torah does not give us rationalization or explanations that the sechel, that the mind should understand, because emunah in Hashem, emunah in the Torah becomes strengthened much more as a result of tmimut, being sincere, being accepting, instead of trying to rationalize and using your mind to understand. Because there's always a danger if you use your mind and you don't accept it readily. At some point, somebody might think of himself, oh, he's smart, he has a better idea. So it's better not to leave it to the mind to rationalize and to figure it out, but to accept it that obviously whoever created the world knows what's best for us. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Just be sincere. Don't try to figure it out. And last but not least, another important idea is what the rabbis tell us. When somebody asks you, why don't you eat pork? Don't tell him, Al tomar I efshi bebasar hazir. Don't tell him, oh, it's disgusting. I don't like it. It's no good. No, tell him the truth. Kikaf tiva Hashem. This is what Hashem commanded. That's the reason. Why? Because any time a person gives a reason, and it's not a good reason, it's not a good explanation, eventually he loses touch. He loses touch, loses contact with a very important source, a very important fact, that Hashem gave the Torah, Hashem gave the mitzvot. If you begin to rationalize, to give explanation, this is disgusting, this is not healthy, this is not good for you, what will happen eventually? You will forget that Hashem gave this. Hashem wants it. That is why whenever anybody asks you a question in Torah and you don't know the answer, instead of trying to figure out an explanation, just tell them, I don't know, Hashem said so, that's good enough for me. It was good enough for my parents and for my grandparents, it's good enough for me too. This is what Hashem said, this is what Hashem commanded us, this is what Hashem expected us. No question asked and no explanation given. Not only could it be the wrong explanation, but it also will take you away, little by little, from remembering the source, remembering who gave us the mitzvot, and that the mitzvot are min Hashemayim, min Hashem. But what's the basic reason? If we were to simplify the idea behind the mitzvot, what do the mitzvot all have in common? What's the main reason behind the mitzvot? So the rabbis tell us, if you want to know the simple explanation behind all the mitzvot, what they all have in common, the common denominator is לא נתן הקדוש ברוך הוא את המצוות לישראל, אלא לצרף בהם את ישראל. He gave us the mitzvot in order to refine our character. Obviously there are many mitzvot that don't have anything to do with character, but believe it or not, somehow they do. What they all have in common is the mitzvot are intended to refine our character, to elevate us. Kedoshim tiyu. How will you be a holy nation? By fulfilling these mitzvot. So the mitzvot, since they are intended to refine our character, they're not just commandments for law and order. They are commandments that if we follow them, we learn them, we will absorb in our character the right hashkafot, the right outlook, as far as what to do, what's important in life, what should be priority, what should not be a priority. That's called hashkafot, outlook, the right perspective. It will allow us to acquire the right midot, right characteristics that Hashem wants us to possess, and it will allow us to lead a certain lifestyle. Judaism, therefore, is not a religion. It's a lifestyle. It's a certain conduct that Hashem expects of us. If we want to attain a certain goal, you follow this lifestyle, this diet. You do these things. Nothing necessarily to do with law and order. As opposed to what? As opposed to Chukot HaGoyim. The Goyim also have Chukim and Mishpatim. But what's their main goal? What's their idea of putting together a constitution? To maintain law and order. There has to be law and order. It's not only that there has to be, that's one of the mitzvot of Bnei Noach. One of the 7 Noachite laws, that they should establish a system of law and order. They better. Imagine if there was no law and order in this country. Each one would swallow his friend. People would take advantage. People would rob. People would cheat. There has to be law and order. But that's what the Goyim do. And the Goyim, of course, institute laws according to the time and according to the circumstances. So their laws are always changing. Not only are their laws always changing, they can be wrong in their judgment. Should we give the death penalty or not? Does death penalty prevent murder or not? They're always arguing whether she should do it or not. What about abortion? Is it the woman's right, or is it really a life? They don't have Torah, as the rabbis tell us. Torah bagoyim al ta'amin, chokhmah bagoyim ta'amin. If somebody comes and tells you, this non-Jew is smart, he's a genius, you of course believe him. We see it for a fact. They've gotten to the moon, they sent rovers to Mars, they've done incredible things. Chokhmah? Yeah, chokhmah bagoyim, there is something like that. There are smart goyim. Torah bagoyim al ta'amin. There's no such thing that the goyim will come up with a Torah that will endure for many, many generations. Because the human mind is frail, he's subject to error, and therefore when he comes up with an idea, even though it's not a bad idea, who says it will apply 30 years down the road? The fathers of the Constitution in this country would not believe what's going on in this country today. What is that? Yeah, all sorts of things. I'd rather not say. The human being cannot come up with a Torah. Only Kadosh Baruch Hu can come up with a Torah that is good forever, that is perfect. That is the meaning of the pasuk that we say in our prayers. the pasuk in Tehillim, Magid dvarav leYaakov chukav u'mishpatav liYisrael lo asa chen lechol goy mishpatim bal yeda'um. The chukim were given to Am Yisrael, the chukim and the mishpatim. Such chukim and mishpatim were not given to the rest of the world. In other words, we are fortunate. Baruch Elokeinu shebaranu livro v'dilanu min ha'to'im v'natanu Torah temet. We have a Torah which is emet, and it's intended to be forever, for all generations. It's always applicable. It's always relevant. And it's true. It's 100% true. That's the difference between our chukim and their chukim. Since there's such a big difference between our chukim and their chukim, since the whole idea of our mitzvot is to refine our character, to do things correctly and properly according to the correct hashkafot, because of this, one of the first mitzvot, or one of the first diyukim, first points in this week's parasha, is Ela Mishpatim Ashetasim Lifneihem. If you ever have a disagreement with your friend, you ever want to take him to court, to a Beit Din, don't go le'archaot. You cannot sue him in court, in a non-Jewish court. You have to take him first, if possible. You have to try your best. If he doesn't agree, there's something else. You take him to a Jewish court, to a Jewish Beit Din. You solve it amongst Jews. Why? Well, very simple. First of all, our hukim are different than their hukim. If you were to go to them, what may come out, the outcome, especially if it's through a jury, what do they know, is erroneous. You may be stealing from someone. Maybe according to the Torah, that's not the halakha, that's not the mitzvah, that's not what the Torah wants. And not only will the outcome be different, even if their law is the same like our law, the Torah says no. Why? It's a hilul Hashem. You're giving kavod to their system of laws instead of to the Torah. So therefore, ashetasim lifneihem, you have a disagreement, you have a dispute, go to a Beit Din Torani, where they will resolve the issue according to the Torah, according to the halakha. Don't go to them. And don't make a hilul Hashem. And they make mistakes too, besides the fact that this is a hilul Hashem. In this week's parasha, if you look at the mitzvot, you will see many mitzvot that are similar in concept. Because in Parashat Mishpatim, there's a tremendous emphasis on mitzvot ben adam lechavero, between man and his friend. And you will find an emphasis in three important areas. In the area of honesty and truthfulness, in the area of kindness and generosity, and in the area of being charitable and being courteous. If you look at, there are more mitzvot that are not necessarily related to the descriptions I just gave, but many of them, especially the mitzvot ben adam lechavero that appear in this week's parasha, are pretty much divided into these three areas, these three categories. These three categories, what they have in common, is what the rabbis tell us, the famous saying, Derech Eretz Kadma LeTorah. I'm sure you heard about it, right? Derech Eretz comes before the Torah. What does that mean? In Yiddish, it means to be a mensch. It's more important than anything else. Be a good man. Behave yourself. What did the rabbis mean by that? Kadma LeTorah, it comes before the Torah. What's the Torah and what's Derech Eretz? The difference between Torah and Derech Eretz is as follows. In the Torah, we have two kinds of mitzvot. Mitzvot ben adam lechavero, mitzvot ben adam lamakom. The commandments between adam lechavero, as I explained before, are do not kill, do not steal. Even though when somebody kills and steals, he's also transgressing a mitzvah in the Torah. In other words, beno lamakom, because Hashem commanded so, but it affects his fellow Jew. There are other mitzvot ben adam lamakom, totally between us and Hashem. Derech Eretz Kadma LeTorah means the mitzvot ben adam lechavero. Those commandments that are between man and his fellow Jew, they come first, before the mitzvot ben adam lemakom. What does that mean, they come first? That the whole basis of the Torah relies on them. If you do not fulfill these mitzvot, then you have no Torah. This is the foundation of the Torah. Mitzvot ben adam lechavero. The whole foundation. Everything depends on this. On behaving yourself. Proper conduct. Not only is this their foundation, it is through the mitzvot of ben adam lechavero, they will be a vehicle towards fulfilling mitzvot ben adam lemakom. If one strengthens himself in this area, if he refines himself in this area, he doesn't cheat, he doesn't steal, he's honest, he's good, he's kind, he's charitable. These mitzvot are so powerful that they will enable him to fulfill properly the mitzvot ben adam lemakom. Whoever does not excel in this area, and only excels in mitzvot ben adam lemakom, he puts on tefillin, he prays 10 times a day, not 3. Right? He does all the mitzvot ben adam lemakom. He prays every time he prays shacharit, it lasts for 3 hours. There have been people like that who stress, who emphasize mitzvot ben adam lemakom. They're great. They don't give charity. They're not kind. But all the mitzvot ben adam lemakom, they do very good. Shlomo Melech compares them to nezem zahav be'af hazir. It's like having a golden ring in the snout, in the nose of a pig. A pig is a pig. So what if he has a golden ring? He has a beautiful golden ring, but where is that golden ring? Where is it? It's in the af, the snout of a hazir. So you have people who are hazirim. They're like pigs. They behave themselves like pigs. So what if they know Torah? So what if they're very knowledgeable? So what if they pray for 3 hours? It's a hazir. It's worthless. Or as Shlomo Melech puts it in different words, why does the fool try to acquire knowledge? But he has no heart. That is also referring to someone who has no yirat shamayim, who's not God-fearing. He's knowledgeable, he knows all the Gemarot by heart, but he's not God-fearing. What's the use? Why does he want to acquire chokhmah if he has no heart? The rabbis compare that, mashal lema davar domeh, למי שנתנו לו את מפתחות הפנימיות ולא נתנו לו את מפתחות החיצוניות. Compare this to someone who was given the keys to a safe inside a house, but they didn't give him the key to the house. What good is it that he has the key to the safe, cannot get into the house? What good is it if the person has chokhmah and has no yirat shamayim? Yirat shamayim comes before chokhmah. To be God-fearing, that's more important than the actual knowledge of the Torah. The same is true with mitzvot ben adam lechavero and mitzvot ben adam lechavero. All you do is mitzvot ben adam lakom, you have nothing. It's useless. The foundation of the Torah is mitzvot ben adam lechavero. That is why it's important to learn Torah. The study of the Torah is very much emphasized by the rabbis, because when one learns Torah, he will know how to behave. If one does not learn, how will he know? The rabbis tell us whoever does not review, forget about learning the first time, whoever does not review Hilchot Shabbat will for sure make mistakes. There's so many details in Hilchot Shabbat that if you do not review it from time to time, you for sure will make mistakes. You will forget. So that it's important to continuously learn Torah and to review Torah, especially for the men, not only because it's a mitzvah. Not only is that the tachlit, in other words, you should learn L'Shem Shamayim, Lishma, because that is what Hashem wants you to do. Learn it. But learn it also because you need to know how to behave, how to fulfill mitzvot. That is why we say in the prayer, Kol halomed halachot b'chol yom, muftach lo she'u b'nei olam haba. Whoever learns halachot every day, is guaranteed that he has a share to the world to come. What does halachot have to do with the world to come? Because if you learn halachot, you will know how to do things right. If you do things right, you will have a olam haba. You see? So it's important to continuously learn so we don't make mistakes. Speaking about Talmud Torah and the importance of learning Torah, my grandfather in Brazil, my mother's father, used to take it upon himself sometimes to collect funds to support the Talmudei Torah in Rio de Janeiro. And he approached a wealthy man and he tried to convince him to donate, give some money for the Talmud Torah. He says, I'm not interested in Talmud Torah. Who needs Talmud Torah? So my grandfather decided this man needs a special approach. How is he going to get money out of him? He comes up with an incredible idea. He gets into a conversation with the man. This man is about to marry off his daughter. So he tells him, my grandfather tells him, so tell me, at which church are you marrying off your daughter? So the man looks at my grandfather and says, what are you talking about? Are you insane? A church? In a shul, not in a church. My grandfather continues, tell me, are you bringing a priest or a rabbi? You've gone mad, right? And let me ask you, when your daughter has a son, are you going to circumcise him? He says, now you're really crazy. What are you talking about? Of course I'm going to circumcise. Of course I'm going to do it in a shul. Of course I'm going to bring a rabbi. What's happened to you? He says, sir, if there's no Talmud Torah, there will be no rabbis, there will be no shul, there will be no mohel. That's the importance of supporting Talmud Torah. What do you think all of this comes from? If we would not have had Torah all these years, all these generations, do you think we would have rabbis? And we would have a mohel, and we would have a shul? Of course he gave him a damn. In the Sefer HaChinuch, he brings down that the mitzvot, by doing the mitzvot, something happens to our heart. I started off saying before that we don't understand everything. We don't have to understand. And another reason behind this is because eventually if we do the mitzvot, even if we don't fully understand what we're doing, the hearts are affected and influenced by one's actions. You continuously do something that will somehow inspire you, that will somehow influence you. So all the mitzvot, what they all accomplish, not only do they refine our character, not only do they show us how to conduct ourselves, not only do they give us the right outlook and perspective about life, they have an effect on our heart. And this is a very important point, as you will see now. People have different kinds of hearts. People have different kinds of personalities. They are endowed with different characteristics. And there are some people, for example, who love money. Many such people. And when people love money too much, they tend to steal and do whatever they can to get a hold of that money. And that is why the rabbis made a very, very powerful statement. And it's a little scary too. Ruban begezel, mi'otam be'arayot, v'kulam be'avak lashon hara. If you look at people in general, you will find that the majority, Ruban, fall into the trap of gezel. Now gezel doesn't mean highway robbery. Gezel could mean the check is in the mail, and it's not in the mail. That's gezel. He needs his money right away. You're holding up his wages. That's gezel too. To cheat, to lie, to overcharge. Gezel has many forms. Ruban the gezel, the majority of people fall into this trap of gezel, of somehow cheating or stealing from someone else. The minority, the arayot, immorality. Some people have a weakness in that area. The chulan, the avak lashon hara, but just about everybody falls into the trap of speaking a little bit of lashon hara. It says avak. Avak means the dust. It's not real lashon hara, but somehow. Imagine somebody asking you, what do you think of him? And you say, you know, you smirk, you make a face, and he understands. You didn't say a word, right? You have to be very careful with lashon hara because people fall into this trap very easily. So because ruban begezel, people have a problem with certain averot. They have certain inclinations. Everyone has a different yetzer. I'm going to use as an example the yetzer of kesed. Okay, let's assume somebody has vice. How do we get him less addicted to money? Right? There's people who are addicted to cigarettes, right? There's people who are addicted to drugs. What do we do if somebody is addicted to money? He has a big yetzer, and because of this yetzer, it causes him many problems in many mitzvot. He's going to have a hard time giving tzedakah. He maybe will have a hard time with gezel, being honest. So what do we do? Anybody have any ideas of what you would recommend? I find, from what I've read in Sefarim, that obviously number one, a person has to learn musar. When one learns musar is ethics, Jewish ethics. He will continuously be reminded that money is not forever, you don't take it with you to the grave, that it's unimportant, that it drives you crazy. Musar is very important. And this advice of musar, by the way, applies to any problem that one may have, any midah. Learning musar, learning Torah, learning musar, it refines our character. It reminds us of our faults. And if we have continuous reminders, maybe we'll do something about it. If we're not reminded, we're never going to start. We remember to pay our bills, we have no choice, right? So we have to remind ourselves of our faults. So a continuous dose of musar is very healthy for everybody. Number two, strengthening one's emunah, that one's income has already been predetermined on Rosh Hashanah, or according to his mazal. Regardless how many hours you are going to put in, 14 hours a day, you're not going to get more money. You're going to work at Shabbat, not only are you not going to make more money, you're going to lose money, because there's no bracha. People who have this problem have to strengthen their emunah. There's something lacking in their emunah. Their emunah is weak if they really think that by cheating someone, by taking away someone else's parnasah, they're going to make more. It's completely corrupt thinking. There's no such thing. And I tell people who are religious, why don't you take a vacation? Why don't you go visit your family in Israel? I can't leave the store. Why can't you leave the store? I'm going to lose clients. You're going to lose clients? On Rosh Hashanah, they already decided how much money you're going to make. You think if you go to a shiur Torah at 7 p.m. and close your shop at 6:30, you're going to lose clients? If you lose some, you gain some. Hashem already decided how much you're going to make. Be normal. Don't overdo it. Now, you can't say I'm going to work 1 hour a day. For a person to work only 1 hour and have complete parnasah, he has to be a very high level of bitachon. He has to have many zechuyot. You can't start with 1 hour. Start with 8. Be normal like everybody else. You can take a vacation. It's healthy to go on vacation. You think because of that you're going to lose parnasah? So it's a lack of emunah. The emunah is not strong. It's a lack of bitachon too. One has to strengthen his emunah. And number 3, whoever has a problem with money should get used to giving maaser. Not only is maaser a segula to become rich, to preserve your wealth, I should say. It doesn't even be a millionaire, but you're going to preserve your wealth. People will not cheat you. You will not go broke. You will not lose your job so easily. Maaser has a segula of preserving one's wealth. People misunderstand it. They think maaser b'chdei shetisashet. Give maaser so you should become rich. What's rich? What's wealth? That you're content. You always have what you need. It doesn't mean you're going to have millions. Your wealth is preserved. Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, the pasuk says. So the commentaries explain Hashem will bless you with wealth. But what's important is v'yishmerecha. Yishmerecha min haganavim. Shelo yikchu mimcha et hakesef. Hashem should protect you after all the money you've made, that you should remain with it. People should not take it away from you. A lot of people made a lot of money, but they lost it. So, maaser is a very powerful segula for preserving one's wealth, and also it helps him with his problem. He has a problem with money, but all of a sudden he's sharing his money with others. And not only is he sharing 10%. That's a lot. For someone who's just starting to give tzedakah, that's unheard of, 10%, very hard. You have to get used to it. So when a person gets used to Maaseh, he's helping himself too, not only preserving his wealth, but it's helping him deal with this difficult challenge of craving after more and more money, and especially money that doesn't belong to you. Give to others, and hopefully you will not want to take from others. All of this is an introduction to this week's parasha. Now I'm going to go through the various mitzvot, some of the mitzvot, and give you some examples of what I stated earlier, that the parasha is divided in several areas of truthfulness and honesty and kindness, generosity and charity and courtesy. Let's take an example of one of the first mitzvot, Eved Ivri. Very interesting mitzvah. Bezat Hashem, hopefully you will learn it, you will get more into it, you will see all the halachot, all the details of this mitzvah. But briefly, what happens with an Eved Ivri? You have two kinds of Jewish servants. I don't call them slaves. They're servants. They're not treated as slaves, so therefore they're servants. How does a Jew become a servant? Either he stole money, and he has no way of paying it back. We're not going to put you in prison and give you 3 meals a day plus a television. No, you're going to work for it. You owe somebody money? Work. Great solution. Americans have something to learn from this. Or you have a situation where if your brother became poor and he sells himself voluntarily. This is an Eved Ivri. Anyway, there are many details on what happens to an Eved Ivri when he goes free and so forth. But what I want to talk about briefly is, how did this happen? Nothing happens for no reason, by chance. How does an Eved Ivri become an Eved Ivri? How does a Jew become a servant? Well, the one that this week's parasha talks about is the one who stole money. That is the smichut. That's the connection between last week's parasha and this week's parasha. What's the connection? If you remember one of the aseret dibrot, what does it say there? Lo tahmod. Do not covet. If you will covet, you will come to steal. This guy coveted, he stole, and therefore he lands himself in this situation where he has to work for someone else to pay his debts. What does this teach us? Well, it teaches the Adon and the Eved a very important lesson. The master is learning something, and so is the servant. The servant is learning, well, next time I'll know better. I won't covet, so I won't steal, so I won't get myself into trouble. But there's something else that this Eved is going to learn as a result of being in the house of another Jew. This other Jew, what's his challenge? What's his mitzvah? Treat him kindly. Be considerate of him. Be sensitive to him. He's your brother. He's not just an Eved Kna'ani. It's difficult to have a Jewish servant because you have to be very careful with him, not overwork him, not abuse him. So what's this Eved Ivri going to see from his master? Consideration. Sensitivity. Does he need to learn that? Yes. Because what happens when somebody steals? Not only is he coveting, he has another problem. He's not considerate of the other individual who just lost something. So there's two problems in Gneva and Gezer. Two problems. You covet, you want something for yourself, so you probably have kinah, ta'ava, henda. You have all of these characteristics that you have to work on. Besides that, you're not considerate of the guy you're taking, whatever it is you're taking from him. You need to learn this lesson. You wanted something for yourself, now even your life is not yours. Your life belongs to someone else. You were not considerate, now you're going to learn what it is to be considerate, because your master is going to be considerate of you, he's going to be sensitive to you. You're going to see how people should treat each other by having this experience, by spending a number of years in the house of this master. That is some of the ideas behind the mitzvah of Eved Ivri. The two of them have something to learn. Then we see another area in this week's parasha that deals with Niskei Adam, that human beings sometimes injure others through their actions directly or indirectly. You made a bore, you made a pit in the middle of the street, cover it up. Some people are careless. They're not responsible. A human being has to be responsible. He's smart. Hopefully he sees where he's going. He has to be careful. People can get hurt as a result of his action. So the Torah teaches us through these mitzvot that have to do with Niskei Adam and through the Niskei Behematot, through the damages and injuries that are caused through one's animals. Be careful. Be a responsible person. Right. Now what happens if you did something by mistake? Mistakes happen, right? You did something called bishgaga, unintentionally. You're chopping down your tree and your neighbor comes in and you don't see him and boom, and he gets killed. That's called shgaga. What about that? Rabbis tell us whoever did something bishgaga, unintentionally, siman shepam asa b'mezid. It could be, depending on what it is that you did, that you were not careful once, or you did something once intentionally. Either you did it b'chavana, or you were a posher, you were negligent. Because of that, it happens that you sometimes do things bishgaga. Quick story. There were two Jews during the time of the Inquisition in Spain. They were running away. They landed in a city somewhere in the southern part of Spain, away from the Inquisition. Each one went their way. They went looking for a home to hide themselves in. Anyway, at one home, a Jew was given to eat, and he felt terrible. because he sees crosses on the walls, and sees a Bible, a Christian Bible, and he realizes that these people are Christian, and what he's eating is not kasher, and he feels terrible. What can he do? At the other home, where this other Jew went, there was a similar picture, and he also felt bad, but he says to himself, what can I do? This is a time of emergency, and we have no choice. He eats everything. The first Jew, as he's about to leave the house and thank his host, the host comes over to him and says, I know you felt bad because of what you were eating, but you should know we're Jews, we're Maranos, we're secret Jews. What you ate is completely 100% kasher. Don't worry. Don't feel bad. The other Jew, of course, was not told anything like that. He ate taref. The two got together, they eventually got to their destination. The one who ate taref felt bad, and he went to the rabbi. Rabbi, why was my friend lucky? He landed in a Jewish home, and I wasn't so lucky. I ate taref. I had no choice, but why was he luckier than me? So the rabbi asked him, did you ever eat taref voluntarily, intentionally, knowingly? It was only once. It happened when I was a young boy. I went out with my non-Jewish friends to the park, and they brought along non-kosher cheese, and I was tempted, and I ate from the non-kosher cheese. The rabbi says, that's what it is. If you didn't watch yourself once, why should Hashem watch over you next time? HaKadosh Baruch Hu watches over those who watch over themselves, and make sure they don't get into trouble. So there should be no shegaga. If there was a shegaga, it's possible that the first time around, you were not careful. You were either a posheah, you were either negligent, or you did it intentionally. Shgagot don't just happen. Now, in a shegaga, if there is murder involved, well, I shouldn't say murder, but if somebody got killed, there's something called that a miklat. There's something called cities of refuge. Because in shgaga, you need a kapara. You need an atonement. What are you going to do in the cities of refuge? Because eventually, when we get to that Parashat, we'll talk about that. But basically, what you're going to do in cities of refuge is you're going to examine your deeds. Why did it happen to me? Why do I need this kapara? I must have done something wrong in the past. So it gives him the opportunity to atone. It gives him the opportunity to examine his deeds, to contemplate and reflect a little bit. Why did it happen? So it should not happen another time. People have to be very careful. Even though the person who got killed was min hashamayim, that's also b'hashgacha eliyona. Nothing happens for no reason. He deserved to die. But why should you be the one? Obviously, you must have done something wrong in the past. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen to you. The next area in the parasha deals with Yetomim, Almanot, and Gerim. Orphans, widows, and converts. They are very sensitive. Orphans, widows, the widow does not have a husband, orphans do not have a father. Gerim are also very sensitive about their situation. We have to be extra sensitive towards them. And people, unfortunately, have a tendency to take advantage of certain people who have no support, who have no backbone, no father, no husband, or a ger. That's what the Torah has to remind us. Be extra careful with these people, because with these people, you think they have no father, but I'm their father. And you know what happens? If you do Chas v'Shalom, take advantage of them, abuse them, and they cry, and they will call out to me, you will die by the sword, Chas v'Shalom. Why does it say here by the sword? As the commentators explain, it will not be a natural death. Many people, Chas v'Shalom, who are not careful with widows and orphans, may die in some accident, strange accident, or at war. Acts of war. That's what the word herev means, the sword. In other words, their death will not be a natural death. And that's midah keneged midah. In other words, if one is not sensitive, does not care about others, then midah keneged midah. Hashem says, they have no father, they have no husband, so will your wife not have a husband, so will your kids not have a father, chas v'shalom. Everything is midah keneged midah, measure for measure. One has to be extra careful in this area. What is the Torah teaching us here? Torah is not only giving us information, these individuals are sensitive. Torah wants our heart to become sensitive, right? What were we saying before? Some people's heart needs major rehabilitation, right? They're either stingy, they're either hardened, they're either not sensitive and not considerate of others. It's through the mitzvot that Hashem gives us, whether it is with orphans and widows, whether it is with an eved ivri, whether it is with a ger, that through these actions and these mitzvot, we are becoming more sensitive. Then we have the pesukim, the mitzvot that deal with loans. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh says in Kesef Talvet Ami, Or HaChaim says in dealing with loans, why is it that somebody is rich and someone is poor? He has to lend to the other. So the Or HaChaim says, in reality, the rich man does not necessarily deserve more. He's an apotrophos. He's the one that's responsible to distribute that money to those who are poor. He has the parnasah of the poor man in his hands. Because Hashem takes care of everybody. That's what we are told. That's what we know. If that's the case, then why is he poor? Because his parnasah was given into the hands of the rich man. The rich man therefore has a nisayon, a big challenge, what he does with that money, how he spends it. He needs to remember to spend wisely and to not to forget those who are poor. Because he has their money. Now, there's two ways to give money. Through tzedakah and through a loan. Which one is better? Alone. Why alone is better? Because there's less shame, less busha involved. I'm taking it, but I'm going to give it back. The rabbis tell us, acts of kindness are greater than charity. Why? Because kindness you can do with a rich man too, not only with the poor. Tzedakah you only do with the poor. Kindness you can do with those who are dead. Chesed shel emet. Bury them. Take care of them. And kindness you do with your physical body. Guess what you do with the money? Here, take, go. When you do acts of kindness, you're much more involved with someone. Halva'ah alone is much more involvement. He has to pay it back to you. It usually involves a larger sum. You don't know, should I trust him or not? Halva'ah therefore is more involvement. And there's less shame. It's a bigger mitzvah therefore. However, the rabbis warn us, if you give somebody halva'ah, make sure you write a contract. Make sure there are witnesses. Why? Otherwise, atamachshiloto. You are going to let him, chas v'shalom, if he is weak in his honesty, he may not pay it back. And you're opening up a hole here. If he's honest, no problem, but don't take a chance. Don't allow him to fall into his own trap of not being honest. Write a contract so there's no misunderstanding. By the way, I always like to give advice when people give loans. One very important piece of advice. If you're ever going to give someone a loan, don't give him more than what you're willing to lose. Because as soon as you give a loan, just assume it's not coming back. And therefore, if you're going to have a heart attack if that money doesn't come back, don't give it to begin with. Even if it's to your own brother. Why should you have a heart? There's no mitzvah to have a heart attack. Now, if you know that you don't mind giving $1,000, you'll be able to sleep well, even if that money doesn't come back. You have more, fine. Figure out how much you're willing to lose. At that amount, give as a loan. If you're not willing to lose that amount, don't give it. Don't give it to anyone in the world. Because you may have a heart attack when that money doesn't come back. And you know what? There's a 50-50 chance the money's not going to come back. I'm not saying that people are dishonest, but there's also a chance the guy may die. Go collect from the heirs. There's so many reasons why that money may not come back. So many possible reasons. Don't give more than what you can afford to lose. The Torah then discusses ribit, charging interest. Ribit comes from the word la'arbot. We're talking about being kind, being generous, helping people. Well, when you're charging interest, you're helping yourself, not being kind to the other. The Torah says, therefore, you cannot charge interest. The malveh and the loveh both are transgressing. The one who borrows and the lender, they're both transgressing the sin. There are major business transactions where one is allowed. It's called heter iska. It's not a loan, it's not a favor, it's a major business transaction. You have to consult with the rabbi on how to do it that halachically would be acceptable to charge interest, like with banks. But otherwise, if somebody needs a loan, he's marrying off his daughter, he has to go through surgery, he just needs a short-term loan, it's a small amount, you can't charge interest. A mitzvah that is related to ribit is lo tiyeh alav kenosheh. Do not go bugging him for the money. If you know he has no money, if you know he has the money but he wants to spend it on Hawaii, a vacation, then you better go get it from him, somehow. But if you know he has no money, then don't go insist, give me back my money. The Chafetz Chaim had a grocery store for a number of years. People owed him money, it was on credit. He was careful not even to go buy the house of those customers, so they shouldn't think, oh, he's coming to collect the money. Lo tiyeh alav kenosheh. Don't bug him if you know he does not have the money. The Torah goes on to discuss another very important area, but this one is a little more difficult. Be kind, be generous, be sensitive. Okay, what about if he's my enemy? I don't like his face. I don't get along with him. He's called your soneh. No, if you see the donkey of your soneh who's falling underneath the load, gotta help him. The Torah uses the words azov ta'azov imo. Azov ta'azov imo? What does that? Azov ta'azov imo have to do with unloading? That verb azov ta'azov means to release, to let go. The commentaries explain, when you help your enemy's donkey, that help is releasing you from the hatred towards him. Do yourself a favor, do him a favor, help him, so by helping him, azov ta'azov, hasinat ta'azov, the hatred will go away. Besides the fact, the Torah is teaching us to be sensitive to animals. Forget the enemy, this is an animal. Be sensitive. Tar balei chayim. You cannot inflict pain on an animal. Again, another example of the Torah teaching us sensitivity, even to those who you dislike, even to animals. Then the Torah speaks about sheker and shochad. Sheker, midvar sheker tirchak. The Torah only says the word tirchak on sheker. Stay away at all costs from lying. Lying is the opposite of emet, the midah of Hashem. A person who's truthful is very close to doing all the mitzvot, to fulfilling the Torah. One who's a shakran will very easily let go of many, many mitzvot. Because he's going to fool himself in the end too. And bribery is also sheker. Sheker and shochad, bribery and lying, corrupt the judgment. Not only is there no beracha in what they do, if somebody takes something through sheker, but it corrupts the deen and it corrupts the individual. It becomes very addictive to lie. And someone who lies will have a hard time doing teshuvah. There was one individual who did everything in the Torah, against the Torah. All the avirot, he came for teshuvah, and the rabbi tells him, you know what? Just take upon yourself one thing. That will help you do teshuvah. Always speak the truth. No matter what happens, always speak the truth, and that will hopefully strengthen your teshuvah. You will remain a true Baal teshuvah. This guy used to murder people. And one day, got very upset at someone, and he was going to go after him and kill him. Somebody saw him in the middle of the road. Yaakov, or Shimon, or let's call him, I don't know, David, where are you going? He had to speak the truth. He said, I'm going to kill this guy. What? What are you doing? As soon as he realized that he said the truth, he couldn't go ahead and do it. There's already witnesses. And that is how he was stopped on his tracks. That is how he was able to maintain his teshuvah and not fall back into his old habits. Midat ha'emet is a very, very important, very powerful midat that has to be cultivated for when one is a child. Somebody calls you up on the phone and you don't want to take the phone. You tell your child, tell him I'm not home. My father said he's not home. What are you teaching him? Where is the good example? Sheker is terrible. It corrupts a person. Then there's the idea of Kiddush Hashem and Halul Hashem. Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair. There's a poor man. He taught his students and barely made ends meet from the little bit that he had. They once bought him a donkey. As they bring the donkey to the rabbi, they find that the Arab forgot a very precious stone on the donkey. Rabbi, you have parnassah for the rest of your life. You don't have to work. No more worries. He said, no, I bought a donkey. I didn't buy a diamond. I didn't buy the stone. Go give it back. They gave it back. What did the Arabs say? Baruch Hashem. Great is Hashem, the Lord of the Jews, that He has such people, that He has such children, so honest. It was a Kiddush Hashem. We always have opportunities to sanctify Hashem's name. You get back too much change. Maybe according to the halakha you don't have to return it if it's a goy, but you have the opportunity to do Kiddush Hashem, to sanctify Hashem's name. Take advantage. This is a good opportunity. Let them speak highly about you. They speak enough about us, against us in the world. So at least, if you have an opportunity, be Mekadesh Hashem, and for sure, be careful not to be Mechalel Hashem. Chaz v'shalom, a goy catches you doing something against Torah. So not only do you have honesty, not only do you have truthfulness, you have also the inyan, very important inyan of being Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. Yes. Then you have the mitzvah of Lotis Hashem Lashav, not to accept or hear Lashon Hara. The one who accepts it is worse than the one who says it. Because if you wouldn't hear it and accept it, the guy wouldn't talk. You have the mitzvah of Achrei Rabim Le'atot, which is also trying to arrive at the truth using the majority of opinions. As long as there's Shomrei Torah and Mitzvot, as long as they follow the Torah, the majority rules. The Torah wants us to arrive at the emet, at the truth. Lashon Hara, if it's not true, it's even worse. But Lashon Hara in itself, even if it's true, causes tremendous harm. That is, we really should give a whole lecture just about that. It's a problem that many, many people have. Another mitzvah I discussed in this week's parasha is not to make a covenant with the non-Jewish nations in Eretz Israel, because we will learn from them, and they will give us trouble, as they're doing today. And in those days, they were also the Avodah Zarah. Eretz Israel cannot tolerate idol worship. Get rid of them. Don't learn from them. If you stick around them with them too much, you're going to learn from them. And finally, the Torah tells us, if you follow the Torah mitzvot, you will have no disease. Your women will give birth. There will be no, not abortions, miscarriages. What Hashem is reminding us is that besides the reward of Olam Haba, there is an Ashgacha in Olam Hazeh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of us. No disease, no pain, no suffering, no war, no problem. What is this telling us? That besides the reward, there is a continuous Ashgacha on Am Yisrael. If we do the right thing, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will treat us in the right way. In other words, it's all to our benefit to do these things. Not only are we doing the will of Hashem, we will benefit as a result too. Rabbis tell us, Hashem wanted us to refine our character. And that is why He gave us so many mitzvot. Lezakot, the word lezakot means to have many merits, and it also means to refine. So when people, anytime somebody complains it's difficult to be a Jew, it's such a big burden, ask him, if somebody were to give you 10 diamonds to sell, and your friend 1 diamond to sell, would you be upset? You have more work than him? Of course not, because you have an opportunity to make more money. 10 diamonds versus 1. We have 613 versus 7. Is that more difficult? Well, we're going to get more reward. Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us more, so we should have more merits. We should have more credit. And as a result of fulfilling the mitzvot, we will also be refining our character. Okay, that's a very good question. There are some mitzvot that Hashem does give us a little bit of the reasoning behind them. Just a little bit of the reasoning, not all the reasoning. And there's a reason for that, or why He gives us the reason. that we should know that this is related to something that Hashem wants us to know. But as far as Arichut Yamim, there are certain mitzvot that have a segula. Not only do we receive reward in Olam Haba, ve'elush mitzvot that you have perotehem ba'olam hazeh. You will benefit, you will derive some benefit from them even in this world. Kibud Avaim, when it says Arichut Yamim, it does not necessarily mean this world, it also means the Olam Haba, the Olam Shekulo Netzach. But even in this world, there are some mitzvot that the segula behind them, the power in them, is to lengthen the person's life. Not that he's going to live to 185, but in case Chas v'Shalom, he was supposed to live to 60, and his children are with him, and in Bashamayim they say, but this man was so careful with his father's and mother's kavod, as a result of that kavod, he may be able to tip the scale in his favor, that they may extend his life, instead of 60 to 90. So there are certain mitzvot that have segulot, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu put them into Torah as examples of benefits that we will derive in this world, in this life, not only in Olam Haba. That is the whole idea behind the Chukotai Telechu. Hashem reminds us that you have a relationship with me in this world, not only the world to come. You don't receive the reward here, but you will receive some benefit from certain mitzvot. You will see the benefit. From other mitzvot, you won't see the benefit, because we don't always see what happens with us. But with certain mitzvot, you will see the benefit. Chafetz Chaim said, when you reach the age of 80, Baruch Hashem, I was able to say and see what I said was true. I always said whoever does not speak Lashon Hara will have a long life. Those days to live to 80 was unheard of. Baruch Hashem, I can see that what I have said was always true. Baruch Hashem, I have lived to the age of 80. Baruch Hashem lived to the age of 95. So we see that one who is careful with certain mitzvot, it has the power, the segula of giving him Arichut Yamin. Yeah, we try to give some explanation, but as I said earlier, every mitzvah has more than one explanation, and we don't know all the explanations.